us today. Art has been with us quite a while and is a leader in the franchisee community. You can see some of his background right here. Art's in the Connecticut, Rhode Island, and North New York suburbs. And I appreciate you jumping on today, Art. Can you share with the candidates on the call and those who are hearing it later via recording, really what attracted you to ERA, what you've discovered since coming into the network, and maybe any advice you can share with candidates considering joining the ERA family?
Sure, thanks. Well, welcome everyone. So I joined ERA roughly 13 years ago, and when I was looking into different companies, what I liked about ERA is it was a franchise that was in the professional, that had professional services. And that was something that I was looking for. And I love and still love the business model of working on a contingency basis, but also I don't need to manage any people per se that work directly for me. I'm primarily a client acquisition manager person. I do some analytical work. So when I get a client, I find the people within ERA to deliver those projects. I do need to manage them as well as manage my clients' expectations, but I don't have anyone on my payroll, which I really do like. And again, I think the business model where it doesn't cost a lot to get in, and you just go out, and if you can sell, you can do very well. And when I first started, I had two big decisions to make. Two things I needed to find out. One is this a company, a real company, and the second is the skills that I have and things I want to do. Do they match what is required with ERA? Well, after 13 years, I think that first question has been answered, and yeah, it's a real company that has viability here in the States. And the second question is really, one that you need to come up with. What are your skill sets? What do you like to do or want to do? And if you do them well, will ERA help you make the money that you want to make? One thing I think too is, Red alluded to is, you can make money in a lot of different ways. We have a lot of successful people that have successful backgrounds that join our company. I think one skill that if you don't have and you're interested in learning it, I think that you will need is to sell. Because most people probably listening here will probably be client acquisition people, and if you don't have sales skills, it doesn't mean you won't succeed here, but as long as you have a willingness to learn some skills. One thing I think too is, Red alluded to is, you can make money in a lot of different ways. We have a lot of successful people that have successful backgrounds that join our company. I think one skill that if you don't have and you're interested in learning it, I think that you will need is to sell. Because most people probably listening here will probably be client acquisition people, and if you don't have sales skills, it doesn't mean you won't succeed here, but as long as you have a willingness to learn some skills. And that's that's what attracted me to ERA. I think your business changes over the years, and I think that's a good thing. You can focus more on acquisition. Some years you may do a little bit more analytical work, but it's a very strong network and allows you to do several, take on several roles if that's what you want to do. So I'll open it up if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Art. Art, we're going to have folks raise their hand over on the right side of the screen, or you could perhaps even talk into your own microphone, guys, and ask questions. We'll do that in just a moment after we hear from our next franchisee. Art, could you remind me your focus within ERA? Really, what do you spend most of your time and efforts doing? And if I remember correctly, you've done some of both roles.
Yep. So primarily, I do client acquisition and client management. There are a couple categories. I do analytical work, and depending on what's going on in in the markets, sometimes it's a 50-50 between the two. My income is 50-50. Lately, my income's more due to my client acquisition business. If that slows down, then sometimes the analytical work will pick up, and I'll make more money in that area.
Thank you, Art. I appreciate it. And if you can hold on for a few moments, we're going to hear from Kevin Dial. Kevin is our brand new franchisee in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So new, in fact, that I don't have a lot of background from him that I could pull from quickly as I was jumping on this call. So grabbed his LinkedIn profile picture. Kevin, I hope that's okay. And we're honored to have you on the call today. Kevin, you're brand new. Can you share, again, what attracted you to ERA, maybe a little bit about your background and any advice you can give to candidates?
Hey, guys. So I've been about 25 years into my career, probably 23 of that's in pure healthcare. And through my healthcare experience, I worked on a lot of the operational side, on the client service side, both in the payer area as well as on the provider side. Really enjoyed that. What I enjoyed most was being able to be creative and find solutions to complex problems to help my clients out. The past year or so, I kind of lived more in the consulting space on my own shingle, and in doing that, had to do all the sales for my consulting firm, the marketing, the branding, the billing, the doing of the work, etc. And as I did that, I really enjoyed running my own firm, but also realized there are certain aspects of running my own business that I did better than others, and I started looking for places where I could kind of join a consulting firm and start my own business, but have help in certain places. Obviously, working with the franchisor, you have help with branding, you have support, you certainly have the network, which is a big part of the value proposition that ERA has. So I get a chance to work with the same type of folks, i.e. C-suite, still get a chance to solve complex problems and be very creative in that. But basically now I'm focusing more on the procurement side instead of the business process re-engineering side, and just enjoying that. So yeah, I've been here 3 months, and some of the things that attracted me to ERA I've kind of already mentioned, namely a strong brand, although it's not a household brand because the kind of circles we swim in. Also, obviously, a strong corporate office. I'm in here in Dallas, which is also where the corporate office is, which is nice. And the network, as Red said, it's rich with probably 100 people that do category specialty work, so these people are very effective in negotiating savings for everything from telecom to medical supplies to pharmaceuticals to factory consumables to office supplies, etc. And so you have people with a lot of depth in those spaces. So when you come on, I kind of coined a plant switchboard operator. You just need to see the clients, the prospects you're working with, assess what their needs are, and bring the right people to the table to help bring the savings. So you don't have to be an expert in those places. You have ample resources and a very strong network in those supply categories. You just need to know how to bring in the right people to affect the savings and bring the value that we commit to. So,
Kevin, and you've got the benefit of, and it's not that all unique. I have a lot of candidates interested in working with their spouse and having spend more time with the family or more time at home, but certainly with the spouse or perhaps even a son or daughter. How is that in your world working with Paula?
I've only been here about 3 months, and we really haven't gotten started that much on that. She's a CPA, and so she's just crawling out of tax season right now. So we're trying to figure out what that looks like. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. She's obviously very talented, but to this point, she's been trying to, in her accounting business, which she owns, tie up in tax year and kind of put that behind us. So,
thank you for joining us, Kevin. Appreciate it. How many franchisees in Mexico have closed or failed during 2014-2016 period? To my knowledge, none, but we can find out for you if any, and get you more clarity on that. Since I've come on board in the 20 months ago, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty inside here, not a single franchisee has left other than for retirement. And so Mexico, I believe it's the same thing. Neat thing about attrition, and it's a very important topic in any franchise organization, attrition, understanding how many franchisees have failed or left. Well, when you're talking attrition or really talking about any important topic, you need to put things in perspective. So what is the perspective of attrition in franchising? I don't have all the stats for Mexico or for Canada, but it's certainly not that far off from the U.S. The U.S. stats say that if you take the entire world of franchising, from the lowest investment work from home opportunity to the biggest brick and mortar multi-million-dollar investment, if you take them all, the average annual attrition is around 10.7% year in, year out. If you take the low investment home-based service business, it tends to be easy in, easy out, and so the attrition in that world's a little higher than the multi-million-dollar investment for obvious reasons. Easy in, easy out, bigger investment, less attrition. If you look at ERA for the last 15 years, which is how long we've been in the United States anyway, and if you look at ERA in the last 3 years, you take the average of the last 3 or the average of the last 15, you will not see above a 10.7% attrition. So we have very low attrition numbers, especially compared to the sector of franchising we live in. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we had a blip in the consistency of extremely low attrition, and it was very well planned. See, everybody knows Apple Computer. Well, remember Steve Jobs, when he was brought into Apple, he really turned this place around. He halted a lot of their product lines, just flat out killed them, and said, guys, we're going to do what we're best at. We're going to give world-class experience for our clients. And he did, the rest is history. Well, maybe it's an exaggeration. I don't think so at all. 4+ years ago, we got a new CEO for North America. Michael Nicholas came in. Michael had been in franchising for 30+ years. He had been a franchisee as well as a senior executive, actually with McDonald's Corp. He helped launch Australia back many years ago, 4 decades probably ago now. And he'd been an ERA franchisee. He'd been with ERA a long time. And so he had, not an ERA franchisee, he had been an ERA senior CEO for Australia. He was brought into the U.S. And he did 2 very big things in my book. Number one, after taking a lay of the land, understanding our U.S. situation, he did 2 very big things. One is he halted my department. Well, most franchisors, franchise development, it's your number 2 income stream behind royalties when you're to the level of size that we are. Well, he halted it. He basically closed the aggressive pursuit of new franchisees and said, guys, we're not going to be pursuing new franchisees until we get our house in order. Now, ERA thought they had their house in order for the most part. It wasn't a horrible organization. They were doing okay, but okay is not acceptable to strong leaders. And so he said, we're going to get it to a world-class level in all areas. And then number 2, while he was putting in better marketing, better tools, better processes, better training, better in-field accountability and support, new website, new everything, elevating us up to a much higher level, the number 2 thing he did is said, I'm going to talk to the network. I'm going to get to know the franchisees. And it took a couple of years, but one-on-one, he was connecting with every franchisee in the country and having, a heart-to-heart. Are you happy? Are you profitable? Are you following the systems? Do you like the new support we brought into it? Well, as in most organizations, there's a significant percentage, give or take around 20%, weren't happy, weren't profitable, weren't following the systems. And so instead of the traditional answer a CEO would give, which is, well, you owe us a whole bunch of royalties for the next 5 years or 10 years or whatever the remainder in your contract is, he said, okay, you're not happy, you're not profitable, you're not going to follow the systems we've got in place. Let's find you another life. Let's get you a job. If you should have had a job in the first place, perhaps, maybe this world's not for you. You had never been outside of a very structured corporate environment where everything was given to you. You had people reporting to you, and you reported to someone every minute of the day. That's your world. That's a great world for some people. Let's get you back in that world. And so when I heard about that story and him letting them leave, I said, let's put that part of our culture, put that in the franchise agreement. And so today, and since I've been with ERA, no one has taken us up on the option of you can exit for 6 months minimum royalties, very minimal exit fee, and you're free to go about and do what you like, except compete with ERA. So our attrition numbers, except for 4 and 5 years ago when we cleansed some of the bottom performers, those that weren't performing at all, we let them leave amicably and without a single lawsuit. And you can talk to those folks today. There's 0 gag clauses. I've had people think there's some kind of gag clause if you leave. There's not. In fact, that would be illegal in the United States anyway. Federal Trade Commission allows you as a candidate to speak with every franchisee that's in the system or has left the system. And so we're as transparent as they come and very happy to share any information you'd like, especially on attrition. So that goes for Mexico and Canada as well. Any questions? Oh, there's some more questions. Let's see what the franchisees' questions. Terry, what's your question here? How long did it take Art? Art, got a question for you, my friend. How long did it take Art to build up his business and his income? And obviously, we're always building our business, but Art, what are your thoughts on that? From a and by the way, guys, let's put it in perspective again. The franchise today and the opportunity, the training, the support, the tools, the brand, everything about us has increased and improved significantly from 13 years ago when Art was one of the very first franchisees. But Art, what can you share about? Feel free to share how you started out, but also any insights as it might apply to a new franchisee coming in today.
Yeah, you know, to piggyback on what you just said, Red, is, yeah, I went through training 13 years ago. So I really can't speak to what they do today. For me, it was quite quick. I'm trying to think back. I think I got 2 clients in 3 months and was billing around the 6-month mark. So for me, it happened a little quicker than most, but it just shows that you know, you need to. And I have a sales background, so you go out there, you follow the program that the training teaches you. You can start up quickly. And then you just have to try to sustain that and keep getting new clients, and then you have every project is a 24-month annuity.
Kevin, where are you at on things? Obviously, you've been at it about 3 months. How's the client acquisition going for you?
I think it's going pretty well. I have 1 CEL signed. It's a pretty good sized client. We're in the process of gathering all the information right now from the client, which is what they do after the CEL to basically give us all the information, the letters of authorization we need in order to go to the suppliers directly to start renegotiating things. So I think it's going pretty well. Also, I think Jack said before, there's many successful people as there are in ERA. There's different ways of becoming successful. And so I'm trying to find the areas that I'm the fastest in or the most productive in as far as sales go, and the combinations of conferences, networking, direct sales, speaking engagements, etc. And so I feel like I'm getting a lot of really good feels as far as most productive ways to go after leads and stuff. And I feel like I have a lot of leads out there. But yeah, I have 1 client that's been sold, and we're actually implementing that right now. So that's kind of where I stand at this point.
Thank you, Kevin. There was a question about the marketing co-op and marketing the ad fund and the benefits you're receiving from it, or lack thereof, perhaps. Kurt's asking, so what is the marketing support provided that is supported by the 3% fee? And do Kevin and Art find that this marketing has helped to drive client engagement and attraction? It may be a little early for Kevin to speak to it. Go ahead, Art. Kevin.
Yeah, actually, I've used a fair amount of that. I've gone to 2 conferences. One's the Association for Corporate Growth. It's a private equity investment banking constituency. Also, Torch, which is an organization for rural and community hospitals in Texas. For one of those, we sent out flyers pre-conference, and I was pretty happy with this and surprised because, I could have created the flyers myself, but we have a really good marketing department. I worked with an all-star category specialist and the marketing department. We created a flyer that was really good. It had a half-page artwork on it about with like a picture of a nurse and an administrator in front of a hospital, and also some questions that were tailored to that particular audience. And then we wrote a letter underneath it, and so had a lot of really good hands to help me figure out the best way to make that articulate, the best pictures to throw on there, the best way to kind of polish it up. And then I sent that to about a couple hundred people before the conference, which really helped create some warm introductions for the people that we would meet at the conference as we did a booth. And so, yeah, the marketing department, through doing booths, through creating pre-conference preparation, through even the booth setup, which includes banners that are tailored to healthcare, which is what we used. And so it wasn't just a general cost savings banner. It was one that pertained to healthcare and was tailored to that industry. And so, yeah, I'm relatively new, obviously, but I've been very pleased with the way that marketing helps be creative to focus on the niche that you're trying to penetrate and think outside the box. And even with like Gene and Jack, if there's something I'm writing that's going to a whole bunch of people, whether it be a LinkedIn invite or a big promotional, I get some really good feedback on the ways to nuance that so it's as effective as possible. Because if you're going to spend the money to send something out to a lot of people, you want to make sure the messaging is as strong as possible. And everybody's been very helpful, and I've been very surprised and very happy with that.
So when you look at the 3%, it's pulled together, and when you're starting out your business like Kevin, you've put nothing into it at the beginning. And for several months you'll likely put nothing into it, and yet you're getting the same reward, same benefit of it as someone who's putting thousands into it. So at the beginning of any franchise, you've got that marketing co-op, and it can be a very nice benefit to help kickstart your business even faster. But at the tail end, when you're putting a lot of money into it, hopefully you're generating an equal value as well. So what does it go to? I can speak to some of that, and we've got a marketing support webinar that I'll get to you if you haven't already seen it. In the process, I get you an operations support webinar, marketing support webinar, trusted business advisor webinars, get you as much education about the model as humanly possible. And so the franchisees have designated some of it to go to local franchisees' efforts like Kevin's to support with events or local marketing, a portion of it. Another portion that goes to a high-tech HubSpot marketing platform that is used to communicate and track a lot of our communications to potential clients. We've also got 4 folks on staff that are in the marketing team, supported by that marketing co-op, to a full-time content writer, a digital marketing expert, a everything else marketing expert, our SVP of Sales and Marketing, Gene Rosendale, which many of you have seen on the Trusted Business Advisors. Part of his compensation is covered in the marketing co-op. So they're all various aspects to help you build your business, whether it be our web design firm, constantly doing SEO and pay-per-click and SEM and remarketing and tracking pixels, and all the different technologies available to us today are used to help build your business further. What it's not is, it's not going to, you start on day one as a new franchisee and we hand you 100 leads. Now, we have the Dun & Bradstreet Hoover's database, so you can log in and we can help you identify potential clients, but we're not just feeding you day in, day out folks who are calling the call center left and right wanting appointments with you. Not going to happen. We're helping you to get those clients, and occasionally that does happen. It should be a source of revenue, but it will not be the leads coming in through our website will not be your primary source of revenue.
Yeah, Red, I think to add to that is, I think the type of marketing we do is one-on-one marketing, and glad to, so I've been there for a while and have recently, taken advantage of it. Glad to see, Kevin, that you've really jumped in. Maybe probably the newer people, since there's a little more money in the pool and different plans have been, developed to take advantage of. So there's ways you can use it, like Kevin is. But like Red said, it's not a type of marketing that's going to, go out, put in ads, and send you leads, because our services need to be sold one-on-one, and that's really, but for marketing, I think, the type of efforts that Kevin is using is where you'll get a big bang for your buck.
Thanks, Art. We have a question from Sammy. He says, does ERA provide analysts with tools to do category analysis for clients, such as software, access to databases, costing systems, etc.? So Art can probably, well, both you guys can address that. I think I'll preface it with, the #1 value our analyst franchisees bring is their world-class experience. Now, yes, they have some software, certainly access to costing databases and previous bids, but for other franchisees, all of that, you guys can go deeper. But the true #1 value is the expertise of the analysts.
So what was the question again?
Does ERA provide analysts with tools to do category analyst work for clients?
So I think, yeah, to piggyback on what Red was saying, is there are some tools that they provide, such as a system that helps you put out a professional RFP. I think and that comes from corporate. With respect of learning, if you want to learn to do some analytical work in a category, that's something you can learn from your colleagues, and they'll, to learn a particular category. And then with respect to, after you do the analytics, there are reports. ERA has 2 different reports, the baseline and the recommend or options report. and we have templates on how to write these in the format that everything needs to be in. So they do help you with that as well.
Jump back on the screen for a sec here. Some other notes. Territories. We get asked about territories a lot. 3 easy things to understand about ERA territories. Number 1, you can get clients anywhere on planet Earth. You can also help clients anywhere on Earth save money. So a very open model from that aspect. Number 2, you do have a marketing territory. It's much bigger than a traditional territory. A marketing territory, as you can see on this little slide here, tends to be a state. It might be, you know, Chicago Metro, which is bigger than most states in population, or it might be 5 states. But it's a significant area, and that's where you can market your practice. That's where you can do speaking engagements. That's where you can do direct marketing. So the difference being, you can get clients anywhere on Earth from referrals or from previous relationships, but marketing your business, building that network needs to be more local, to Art's point. And lastly, in a franchise, you want to have some exclusivity. Most franchises, exclusivity is all around geography. You own 1 zip code, or you own a 2-mile radius from your office, for instance. With us, it's 2-pronged. You've got a very large marketing territory, and then within that territory, you can identify up to 50 potential clients, and we help you identify them. And they're exclusively yours. You tag your name, you put your name on them, and they are registered to you. And you can pursue them without any worry or concern about anyone else pursuing them. Obviously, you can't do it forever. Your name falls off after a while if you're not having any success, that sort of thing. But it's a very collaborative model where if you have an opportunity, someone's name on it, you talk to them and see what the options are. Next is attrition and retention. We already talked about that. You'll always know in this process with me where you're at. From the webinar at the beginning of the process to our first conversation, to educating you daily about the model via emails and recordings, to introducing you to your coach and mentor in the business. I introduce you very quickly right after our first call so they can answer the more in-depth questions, the questions you can ask of like Kevin and Art. And then we introduce you to franchisees. Keep in mind when you're talking to franchisees, you want to listen for consistency. Even a negative, if it's consistent, builds credibility to the answers. You and I will go through the FTD together, make sure you're comfortable with the legalities and the agreement. We'll fill out an application. We'll invite you to a discovery day. You're always welcome to come to those. They're typically not required, but you're welcome to come to Dallas, meet the executive team, meet the support center and staff here, and then ultimately get your onboarding process going after you've signed and funded the agreement. Lots of resources online, as you've already seen. Terrific videos on our website. FindExtraProfit.com is our franchising website. Or you can go to expensereduction.com/, well, join our team is the link on the right side there. How to contact me on the screen here. You can have access to my live calendar online. expensereduction.com/RED/red. You can book whatever time is available for you. And then, guys, one other topic, as we've already gone over time, might as well keep it going. Competition. What kind of competition, Art or Kevin, do you see out there in the marketplace?
Okay, so I do see very little competition up in, again, we're in the northeast part of the U.S. 13 years probably it's been, I've come across, less than a handful. The biggest competition is, internal resources and, convincing CFO why they should bring us in as opposed to just rely on their purchasing people.
Kevin?
Yeah, and just add to that quickly, especially in healthcare, a lot of people think if they have a group purchasing organization, a GPO, that basically is a competitor to us. It's not. GPOs get paid. Their revenue is based on what they sell. Our revenue is based on what we save. So we have very different value propositions, and we're very accustomed to finding significant savings off of GPOs. Kind of like Art said, I haven't been here long, but I'm not really running across a whole lot of competitors. And when I find them or see them, they tend to live in a certain niche, like I do copiers, or I do telecom, or I do pharmaceuticals. But Red earlier talked about having 45-ish categories, and you're just not going to find any competitors out there that have those that many categories. Some individuals can specialize and do 1 or 2 categories, but you're not going to find many people that can do more than that. And so we're pretty unique in our ability to cover every vertical and to pretty much cover every category that could have money spent in it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. What I've heard also from franchisees is competition might, although fairly rare, might fall into two camps. One is that the global brands that are for the bigger clients typically. The difference is they don't spend much focus at all on the procurement supply chain space, nor do they like doing a contingency model at all, nor do they like staying on board to implement projects or oversee the expense projects ongoing. That's all part of the core of our model, not theirs at all. In fact, a number of the global brands that are household names have brought us in to represent them to clients or perhaps even do some work for them internally. So very different from that world. Flip it over to the other space, the small mom and pops. There are hundreds, if not thousands of them across the nation that have true expertise in a cost category. They would likely be wonderful analyst franchisees were they to be with ERA. But you can see a significant difference there. They do not have the buying influence that we bring to the table with suppliers, nor do they have anything beyond their one expertise of category. And so we're that one-stop shop for our clients. And you know what else I think is significant and often overlooked is we do not come across as salespeople. Rest assured we are. We are closing deals. That was a core part of what you'd be doing as a franchisee. The difference is we don't come across that way. We are a trusted advisor to the C-suite, while so many of our competitors come in waving an iPad and saying, let me save you some money on telecom or whatever the category. It's not how we approach it.